down there and stick it like that. All right, so 10.1, the cell cycle. I think we talked about this a little bit yesterday. The cell cycle is the period of time from the beginning of one cell division to the beginning of the next. It consists of 3 different stages. So our interphase, that was our time where it's not reproducing anything, it's not copying itself, it's just hanging out, it's living its best life, it is doing whatever that cell is supposed to do. It's doing what it was born to do. After that, it decides, in order to keep this organism alive, I need to make some copies of myself. And that's when it starts to go through mitosis. Please go ahead and grab your notebooks. Open up that file from yesterday if you were taking notes online. Guess I should have reminded you guys. I'm sorry about that. So I'll give you guys a couple seconds to find your notebooks or to grab that internet file from yesterday. Okay, so again, our big Pac-Man, waka, 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 waka. Right there is interphase. That's where the cell is just growing and being a cell. After a while, it decides I need to make some copies of myself so that this organism that I'm part of can grow, or just so it can stay alive. And that's where mitosis happens. And right after mitosis is done, right after the telophase, where it's kind of 2 cells, but they're still conjoined together, they completely break it apart and undergo cytokinesis. So since this is the cell we were already on yesterday, or the slide, not a cell, I'm going to go ahead and move on from there, just so we can keep on moving. Okay, so interphase is the stage that occurs between the cell divisions. So it is the thing that happens after the cell division happens, all the way up until it starts again in mitosis. During interphase, the cell grows and develops and performs its functions. Okay, in the chat, who can tell me what stage follows interphase? So I'm going to type it out into the chat, and I want you guys to type it back to me in the chat. Okay, Nadia Lena's got it. Anybody else want to try? All right, Jocelyn's got it. Carolina's got it, yes. Roman's got it, perfect. All right, so everybody who has participated has gotten it right so far. Let's see. So telophase is the very last portion of what we're looking for. At the end of mitosis, telophase happens. So telophase does happen after interphase, but it's part of mitosis, and mitosis is the thing that we are looking for as the stage following interphase. So I'm going to go ahead and move to the next page. So mitosis is the process in cell division where the nucleus divides into 2 nuclei, each with an identical set of chromosomes. Mitosis can be divided into 4 phases. The first phase is prophase. Pro is a word that could mean like professional. It could mean in favor of something, or it could sometimes mean before. So in this case, prophase is the phase that is happening in favor of cell reproduction. It's the phase that happens at the beginning. So it's kind of using that before and that in favor of. All right, I'm going too fast. I will slow down just a smidge then. And on the next slide that I'm going to show, it's actually going to show a picture of the whole cell cycle and what each thing does. So I'm going to go ahead and type it out into the chat. Some things that you might think about writing down in notes. Okay, so pro is a prefix. That means in favor of or before. Prophase is the first phase of mitosis, and it gets the cell ready to reproduce itself. So that's what I would write if I were taking notes about these slides right here, because these slides are online. You can get them at any time, but I would add the extra information. The extra information that is not available online. Okay, you guys ready for the second phase? Does anybody already know the second phase from the reading that you did over the weekend? It starts with an M. So prophase, you have just your normal squiggly DNA, if we remember from those pictures yesterday. And then during prophase, they double. You get more DNA. It increases in size. So it goes from just one set of DNA to boom, 2 sets of DNA, and they're just all in there in the nucleus. The nucleus starts to break apart, and all of your DNAs that you have, they start to kind of rearrange themselves along the center of your cell. So they're like kind of chilling out there in the middle. Okay, so I'm hearing multiple. It does start with an M. Let's see. It kind of sounds like medium or middle, but it's not quite. It doesn't have a D. It has a T instead. I'm going to go ahead and move it. So metaphase. Metaphase is when all the chromosomes move into the middle. If you say it wrong, it sounds kind of like it fits. So metaphase. I don't know what the prefix meta means for sure, so I'm not going to try to pretend. Metaphase is all the chromosomes start to align. Does everybody, if I use the word align, does that make sense to everybody? Or should I use a different word? Align, good word or bad word? If I use the word align, is that good? Okay. All right, so metaphase, all the chromosomes start to align in the middle. So they start to line up, align. Okay, step 3, anaphase. So anaphase is where they take all the chromosomes from the middle and they start pulling them over out toward the sides. So it's still one cell with a whole bunch of information in it, but now we're starting to move it side to side. They go to their corners, kind of. So they start to make it get ready to turn into 2 cells. Okay. So like Anna and Elsa, don't they like spend some time where they can't talk to each other, they don't hang out or anything? So poor Anna, she's like, oh, I wish my other chromosomes would come hang out with me. Do you want to build a snowman? Like, oh my goodness. I haven't seen Frozen, so I'm just guessing that's what happens. Okay, so after anaphase is telophase. I'm getting laughed at. All right, so telophase. Don't make that reference. Oh, I will make that reference. Just let it go, Carlos. Just let it go. So telophase is where the cell gets, see the cell, the chromosome. Ah, there we go. That's where the nuclei reform and the cell gets ready to split up completely. Completely. I'm like, I can't spell today. All right, so telophase is where your chromosomes are each on either side, but then they grow a nucleus back around them and they start to turn back into DNA again. And the cell is kind of gonna start looking not like a big round circle anymore, or a rectangle if we're talking about a plant cell, but it's gonna have like kind of a dent in the middle of it. It's gonna look like if you take a bubble and you squish it, or if you had like a water balloon that wasn't completely full and you like kind of pinch it in the middle, it would kind of make that weird shape. All right, Everardo. All right, so if I have just a regular cell, it might be kind of round like that. But if you pinch it, like right in the middle, I'm gonna show some arrows, then it might go, it'll start looking like a dog bone kind of. And then we're gonna have all of our DNA squiggles, squiggles, squiggles all over here. And it's probably got its nucleus back around it. And it's getting ready to split apart. So this would be telophase. Yeah, I can write great with a mouse. But this is how you guys feel when you're using Cami, right? All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the next slide. Unless you guys wanted that still, there's a much better picture on the next slide. So I'm gonna move on. Clear all. Get rid of that. All right, so this is the cell cycle right here. I'm gonna go ahead and ask you guys to all go into Schoology right now. And we're gonna open up the cell cycle assignment. There we go. I'm like, oh, what is the word I'm looking for? So I'm gonna try to keep that up there. Hopefully that's not too small. Let me do my whole desktop. It will not let me do my whole desktop. Curses. All right, so I'm gonna go to Schoology and I'm gonna go back to week 6, Tuesday, September 22nd. Can I just get some thumbs up either on the screen or on the participants tab when you have Tuesday, September 22nd folder open back up on Schoology? I've got 1 thumbs up on camera, 1 thumbs up on participants, 2 thumbs up on camera, 3 thumbs up on camera. Especially anybody who's missing a lot of assignments, please go into Schoology right now and make sure that you are following along. I'm gonna get you some credit and some points for quarter 2. Okay, so if you have not opened, perfect, I got 1 more on camera that is ready. We're gonna go into Schoology, into Tuesday, September 22nd, and we're gonna open up the mitosis and cell cycle graphic organizer. So if you have not touched 0 instructions yet, click and open that right now. So just open that up, so that you have seen the instructions. There is no ed puzzle to do today. Let me fix that. That's going to confuse somebody. Oh, okay. From yesterday. Cool. Never mind. It confused me though. So open and close those instructions. And then open number 1, mitosis and the cell cycle graphic organizer. Okay. So what you'll do is you're going to grab, once it lets you in, there's going to be some answers down at the bottom. Yours will look totally different from mine, but you're going to take the answers from the bottom and you're going to drag them into whatever location you think they go. And just drag them and drop them in. And there are 2 questions. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys where you can find your answer. Hey, cool, right? Okay, so it's telling us that the shortest stage of the cell cycle is cytokinesis. In cytokinesis, the cytoplasm and its organelles divide into 2 daughter cells. So if I recall from yesterday, I think I mentioned like a chicken egg and how the yolk is the nucleus and the egg whites is just the stuff that yolk is floating around in. The egg whites is kind of like the cytoplasm. So this word right here, cytoplasm, that would be kind of like the egg whites. So in cytokinesis, the cytoplasm and the organelles divide into 2 daughter cells. So if we remember from probably last year, hopefully, organelles are all the little teeny tiny things inside of a cell that help a cell function. So it's the things that help to build the proteins. It's your things like your ribosomes and Golgi bodies and all those cool name things that we learned about last year that are in a cell and help the cell function and grow. And those things are just kind of floating around in the cytoplasm. So the shortest stage is where it goes, pinches, and becomes 2 separate little things. So cytokinesis is being represented right here by the purple. I mean, if I look at this, it looks kind of like Pac-Man is green today. And he's going waka, 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 eating things. And then he's got like purple teeth or something. Kind of looks like teeth right there, like he's really chewing on it today. But cytokinesis is the last section, and that is just a real quick, boom, make these cells happen. So cytokinesis in plant cells is a little bit different because it has to make that cell wall or the cell plate. So in our animal cells, it just kind of squishes and pinches out, and you get your 2 different cells. But in the plant cells, you would have your extra large cell. So let me actually draw our dog bone again of the plant cell. And it kind of just pinches and it ends up cutting it away. I'm trying to think. If you've ever like played with cookie dough, has anybody helped bake cookies? Anybody help bake cookies or something at home, maybe biscuits? Nope. Dang. Maybe I'm gonna have to make like a cooking lab one day where you guys have to like make food instead of making a chemistry lab. I've got 1 or 2 people. So like if you play with cookie dough as you're trying to make it into like a delicious cookie, you could take it and you can like kind of squish it in the, oh wait, I know. Who has played with slime? There we go. Who's played with slime? Some of you have played with slime. So if you play with slime, you can like take it and you can squish it in the middle and you can pull it apart. And then you can put it back together and squish it and pull it apart. Same thing with cookie dough. You can take it in the middle, you can squish it, and you can pull it apart. So in animal cells, animal cells, they kind of squish in the middle and they pull apart. But with a plant cell, instead of squishing in the middle and pulling apart, they actually have to grow their cell wall in the middle. So it's going to stay together, and it's actually going to start separating from the inside. So it's going to start separating from here rather than outside. Does that kind of make sense? So a plant cell, it can go squish, but with a plant cell, it starts together and then it kind of grows from the middle. So you kind of have like two cells next to each other, and then they just kind of separate out. So I'm hearing that cookie dough tastes good unbaked. I like cookie dough ice cream. But one thing you want to make sure of is that there's either no eggs or flour in it, or that you cook the flour before you use it, just to make sure that there's no funny bacteria in there that's going to get you sick. Okay, so the cell wall grows in the middle, cell plate, and then it makes your two daughter cells. I'm going to clear my extra drawings, get rid of that, and move on. Okay, who knows what stage is after cytokinesis? So remember the cell cycle. We have interphase, where it's just the cells are living their best life, doing what cells do. And then mitosis happens. After mitosis, it turns into cytokinesis, where the two cells break apart and they're now two brand new cells. What happens after cytokinesis? What do you guys think? We have two fresh, brand new cells just introduced to the world. What should they do now? I'm going to Disney World. So we have interphase. Okay, it restarts. So what would be the first stage then? What would happen when it restarts? Telophase, again, is at the end of mitosis. Why are they called daughter cells? Just because we have a parent cell, and then it breaks up into two more cells, and I guess whoever decided to name it chose daughter instead of a son. I don't know. Okay, I got one correct answer from Nathaniel. Awesome. I got a correct answer from Camilla. So far, I'm at 2 correct answers. So we have interphase when it's just, you know, growing, developing, doing what a cell does. Say that question again. You weren't looking. Okay, I will put it right here and put it to everybody. So interphase, it's growing, it's doing what it does. Mitosis, it decides, I want this organism to stay alive. I want this organism to grow. So we're going to make more of me. At the very end, cytokinesis happens and breaks that cell that was just doubled up into 2 separate daughter cells. So after those 2 daughter cells now exist, what phase do those daughter cells go into? Prophase and metaphase are both parts of mitosis. Okay, I've got Viviana's got a correct answer. So Everardo, the cell wall forming is part of cytokinesis right here. That's my arrow, I promise. So let's think about our Pac-Man. So it's a circle. That's a circle, I promise. And then he goes like that, so it looks like Pac-Man, and then he's got some big teeth going on. We have mitosis. I'm just gonna call it mit. And then we have cyto. And we had interphase. There we go, I got a correct one out there from Everardo. Yes, it is interphase. So our Pac-Man cycle, it's interphase, mitosis, cytokinesis, interphase, mitosis, cytokinesis, interphase, mitosis, cytokinesis. It just keeps on going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny. If you remember our paper that we folded up yesterday, it started with 1, we turned it into 2. Then we turned it into 2 more, times 2, times 2, times 2, until we couldn't fold it anymore. Okay, so we had interphase where nothing was happening. Let's go back to the beginning. Interphase, nothing happens. Mitosis and cytokinesis, it turns into 2. And then it's just an interphase again. Our fold turns it into 2 more with mitosis and cytokinesis. And then it just waits and does its thing. And then we fold it. And we have mitosis and cytokinesis happened. And now we're back in interphase. So it doesn't just stop. It keeps on going. It's a cycle. It repeats itself again and again and again and again. You guys only have so much knowledge, which is why you're in school, so that you can have more and more and more knowledge. All right, I'm going to clear this out. Annotate, clear all, and stop my annotate. All right, so the cell cycle. Ooh, this one's all mixed up. What is so these are not in order, obviously. What is number 1 in the picture? So look at what's happening at number 1. This is a part of mitosis. It looks like 2 cells that are about to be pinched in the middle. They are not quite there, Aspen. They are 1 step before what you just told me. The one you told me is when they're actually completely broken up. Okay, let's see. I've got it. Perfect. Aspen, you got it. Camilla, it's just like I told Aspen. It's 1 step before the one you just told me. Viviana, it is 1 step after the one you told me. And Carlos, it's also 1 step after the one you told me. Nadia Lena, you got it. So if you look at it, they're starting to get far away from each other. Remember the words that I said mean far away? It's like if we're looking at something that's far away, out in the sky, out in the stars, we use a telescope. Yes, perfect. I'm getting some more telephases. So we use a telescope to see things far away. We use a television to watch information that was filmed far away from us. We use a telephone. We call it a cell phone now, but back in my day, because I'm, not a boomer. I'm a boomer. I'm not a boomer. Back in my day, we called it a telephone because it helped us to talk to people and hear people that are far away. So this is telophase because they're still 1 cell, but they're far away from each other. Those nuclei are far apart. Okay, so number 2. Stage is number 2. Let's see. Nathaniel, yes, perfect. Already got it. Anybody else? Oops, that was meant to be to the whole class. Let's see. Is number 2 representing? Select everybody. Tella, dun dun. All right, so I've got a couple correct answers. This cell is just living its best life. It's doing what the cell does. All of its DNA is just out there all squiggly. We have a nucleus intact. It has the nuclear membrane. It is in interphase. So anybody who told me that or was thinking that, you are correct. Awesome. I see that smarty out there. Number 3, what is number 3? Perfect. Carlos got it. Aspen got it. I think I have a couple people paying attention today. What is this? This is some craziness. Perfect. Camilla's got it. So the 2 cells, yes. What is it called at that stage where it finally completely breaks up into 2 cells? Nathaniel got it. Nadialina got it. Carlos, yes for number 4. Aspen, yes for number 4. We haven't moved there yet, but yes, I got 2 correct for number 4 already. All right, what is number 4, everybody? We'll just all move on. So what is number 4? We got Elsa over here, her sister over there. And they're like, do you want to build a snowman? I want to build a snowman. But they're like, no, we can't build snowmen together because we got to like stay away from each other because I might like freeze everything, you know. I'm just going to make up my own story for that movie. Is that okay? No? So we have Elsa and we have Anna, but they can't hang out. So they're anaphase. Oh, snap. All right, number 5. You guys are going to remember anaphase forever now. Yes, Aspen, perfect. Nadilina, got it, perfect. So all those chromosomes are in the middle. So it's the part of mitosis that has meh in it. Metaphase. And then number 6. Which one did we miss? Oh, I know what that one is. Yeah, Aspen got it before I did. All right, what is number 6, folks? Yes, it's the only one we're missing. Perfect. Awesome. So like I said, Aspen got number 6 before I did, so I have a feeling you guys are understanding this a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and move on. So observing the cell cycle. With a microscope and specially prepared slides, we can observe the cell cycle and identify each part. All right, so this is a microscope picture of what would actually look like when mitosis is happening. And can we tell what stage and phase this middle cell is showing us? Looks kind of like they're building a snowman there. Okay, it is definitely separating. Camilla just told me it. The middle one kind of looks like a spider. Aspen just got it, perfect. So these like spider looking things, these weird shapes, those are our chromosomes, our chromatid pairs or chromosome pairs. And they're starting to move away from each other. Because you know, Anna and Elsa, they just can't hang out. So it's anaphase. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and close that out. And so that is all of the slides. So we finally covered yesterday and today.